Go.
Hey guys, how you doing? This is Hitesh Bhardwaj. Today we're going to talk a little bit about core activation and core stability. All right, it's very important for us to be stable and strong in the core, but that's only the first half of the battle. Not only do we have to be stable in the core, but while we're stable, we have to move our other limbs. That's what's going to help us become better at moving and become more athletic. I have three of my favorite core activators and core stabilization exercises that I'm going to show you today. All right, the first exercise that we have here called bird dogs, one of my favorites. They're a big part of the warm-up, and they're a part of just about every warm-up that we do, okay? So the first thing that we need to do is get in a strong, stable position, shoulders over top of the hands, hips over top of the knees. We're gonna extend and flex the back just to get comfortable with our position. I'm gonna go to full extension and then just come back a little bit, find that neutral spine position, tighten up the core. As we do this exercise, nothing moves except the arm and the leg that I raise. From this position, I'm going to extend one arm and the opposite leg. The arm will go straight in front of me and the leg will go straight back. I'm going to make a fist with my hand and drive the heel straight back. Exhale is all the air out of my lungs. Inhale, sweep down, and repeat to an exhale. As I sweep down, there's no weight transfer going on to my hands, and my core stays in a nice, strong, stable position. As we're doing this, remember to drive the heel back and the fist forward and not up. As soon as I drive up, the back goes into a weak, unstable position that's overextended.
Go.
All right, the next one we have is a modified dead bug. This is another great exercise to stabilize the core while your limbs are moving. So as I set up here, I'm going to have one leg straight and the other arm over top of my head. I'm going to take my opposite hand and just put it into the small of my back. The reason I'm putting it into the small of my back is to feel if there's any movement in my lower back. So I want to have a little bit of space, but not too much of an arch. And then I'm going to tighten up my core to limit any movement, and I'll be able to tell if I'm moving if my back presses into my hands. If I do, I need to tighten up in my core to limit that movement. From here, I'm just going to lift an arm and a foot just a couple inches off the ground and come back down. Remember to keep the core nice and tight and nice and engaged throughout the whole movement. Okay, next we have another version of the dead bug. You can use either one. I counted these as one exercise in my favorite three core exercises. For this one here, I'm going to get my hands up, knees bent at 90 degrees, and it's going to look very similar to a bird dog, just on my back instead of on my hands and knees. So I'm going to extend one leg and one arm and come back down. As I do this, again, it's very important that my torso is engaged and my back does not change position. Again, as we're doing these exercises, we're working on stabilizing the core while we're allowing our limbs to move freely. Okay, the last exercise that we have for the core is called walk the plank. This is just a more dynamic version of the plank exercise. The plank is an awesome exercise that we use regularly, but it doesn't teach us how to move our limbs while being stable. It doesn't challenge us with any outside force, so this is just going to take it up to another level. So I'm going to start in a regular plank position, feet shoulder width apart. I'm going to push the ground away from me so my lats and my pecs are engaged, shoulders right over top of my elbows. From here, without any hip rotation or any torso movement, core engaged, I'm going to walk out to my hands, back to my elbows. Hands, elbows.